A wireframe is essentially a visual representation of your rough idea or solution. It's the process that usually comes after you have conducted UX research and identified pain points to solve for. Wireframes are super helpful in actually seeing your idea and sharing it with other team members. In this video, I'm going to share some simple steps to make better wireframes that will ultimately lead to better UI designs. So your first step should be to list out all the components and elements that are required on the screen. This can include buttons, text boxes, images, videos, sliders, and so on. Basically the elements that make up a UI design. To help with this process, you can refer to the research findings from the UX research that you conducted before wireframing. Think about the purpose of the screen and how it will help fix user pain points. Since wireframing comes during the ideation process, you should already have this data and some idea of the solutions you want to design for. Let's take an example of a shopping cart screen. The primary purpose is to show the user the different products that they have added in their cart. Also, this is an opportunity for the business to upsell or cross-sell any other related products. In addition to this, you ultimately want the user to check out in order to solve for the business metric of reducing drop-off rate. So a few solutions could be show a list of all the products the user has added to their cart, key details for each, such as name, image, quantity, and price. Next, we want to show a list of related products with similar key details. We also want to display the total amount to be paid and a checkout button. Finally, we could add some information about limited stock availability and discount expiry to entice the user to check out faster. Now, take each solution and identify the different components that are needed to implement it. For example, for this solution, we may need components such as product name, price, image, buttons to increase or decrease the quantity, a delete button, and a line separator to differentiate between each product. To help you with this process of identifying components, you should refer to inspiration websites and see what kind of components your competitors have used in their designs. Repeat this process for all the solutions that you have identified for this particular screen, and you will have your list of all the components ready. Once you have a list of all your components, you are ready to start sketching your solutions. The key secret is to always start sketching on paper or a whiteboard. Basically, you want to sketch with your hands and not a mouse or trackpad. I know this sounds funny, but this analog method of sketching can help with creativity and brings focus in your work. Even today, I still start sketching my wireframes on paper first, so I highly recommend it. One point to remember is that a wireframe, especially a low fidelity one like a paper mount, is to represent and get an idea of how your solutions will be structured. Basically, it's to help you understand the layout of your screen. The three key foundations of any UI design is layout, color, and typography. However, at a wireframe level, we are mainly focused on the layout. Now, to help you establish this layout, you need to look at all the components that you listed and start marking the important ones. Which elements or components are more important than others? For instance, in our shopping cart example, the price for each product, the total price, and the checkout button are the most important elements on the screen. But also, at first, we want the user to see a list of all the products that they have added. Then we want to show them the related products for an upsell or cross-sell. So essentially, by doing this, we are setting the hierarchy of these elements on our screen. So now, as I start to sketch this wireframe, the first section will be the list of all the products that the user has added. Then we will show the list of related products, and finally we will show the total price and the checkout button. Going deeper in the first section, I will show the image, product name, and quantity together, and I will show the price of this product on the side so that it stands out. I will follow the same logic for the other products that the user has added and for the related products as well. At the bottom of these two sections, I will add the grand total in a larger size and the checkout button below it. Now I can place my urgency elements such as the limited discount next to the checkout button and mention if certain items are low in stock. Essentially, we want to entice the user to check out faster. It is important to note that you do not need to get your wireframe correct in your first iteration. Make 2, 3, or even more iterations of the same screen until you find something that covers all of the solutions well. Referring to inspiration while doing this will give you the confidence and some direction to move forward. So make use of it. And just like that, your paper mocks are sketched out. Paper mocks are a quick and dirty way of getting your ideas out. They are simply used to show you how your ideas will look in reality and are not meant to look the most aesthetic. That being said, you will eventually need to show your wireframes to stakeholders or clients, which in most cases are not designers, in order to seek feedback from them. Therefore, you will need to increase the fidelity of your paper mocks in order to make them look more like a UI design. This is where digital wireframes or high fidelity wireframes come in. So what you need to do is open up Figma or the digital design tool of your choice and replicate your paper marks using tools like shapes and text boxes by placing them on an artboard. A pro tip is to not focus on colors and typefaces at this stage, as that can slow you down in this process. Remember that the purpose of a wireframe, be it low fidelity or high fidelity, is for getting a sense of the structure of your screen and ultimately get early feedback on the same. So keep it simple and start with a generic font and some grayscale colors. The points you should focus on is sizing, spacing, and positioning of your components. If you have extra time, you can add realistic images or colors to support a specific point you want to make. But again, no need to spend too much time on it. This is essentially called a high fidelity wireframe. And there you go, you have taken your solutions from your head onto a paper mark and finally digitized them, which are now ready to share with other team members. These digital wireframes are now ready for review by stakeholders or clients. These simple tips will help you make better wireframes today. If you want a more detailed explanation on making better wireframes and a simple framework on taking a UX project from start to finish, I've written an ebook on the same. Also, these are two amazing beginner courses to help you start your UX UI career from the Interaction Design Foundation, which is where I learned UX UI design myself. Do check out the links in the description and subscribe for more UX UI tutorials.